Shortly after being implicated in a brutal courtroom defeat for the Trump administration, and as Tesla stock continues to plummet alongside his personal polling, a visibly desperate Elon Musk went on Fox News to be interviewed by MAGA host Sean Hannity, and the fear and the stress and the awkwardness were palpable as he lied his ass off through one question after another. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, we have several clips to play. Again, Elon Musk right now is not in a good spot. He's shadow president. He's effectively the most powerful man on earth, but Tesla stock is plummeting. It's been estimated that he's lost about $100 billion, if not more, in his personal net worth as a consequence of this. His personal polling is in the toilet. We'll get to all of that. And you can see the fear and awkwardness on his face as he and Sean Hannity desperately try to hype him up during these troubled times.
I think they're getting desperate because, I mean, the reason we're seeing this extreme amount of hatred and violence is because we're actually succeeding in getting rid of corruption and waste. If we weren't succeeding in getting rid of corruption and waste, they wouldn't care. But we are succeeding. Without President Trump, this would be impossible. So I'd just like to say, you know, it's only possible with this president.
So awkward. I mean, he looks like at some point, just based on how his mouth is moving and the vacant stare, that he's about to cry, right? He's about to burst into tears. We know he's a thin-skinned, malignant narcissist who needs the adulation and adoration of others, and he's clearly getting, as much as he benefits from a cult of personality, not quite unlike Donald Trump, he's also getting a lot of public backlash. So this is probably really hard for him because he wanted to be the next Tony Stark. He wanted to be real-world Tony Stark, and instead, he's more like Justin Hammer, the Tony Stark wannabe villain from Iron Man 2. But with respect to the facts, of course, Elon Musk, an inveterate liar, is wrong once again. Doge has not been successful. As a matter of fact, the fact checkers have been all over this. We've discussed this in multiple videos, but Doge claims that it saved the federal government $115 billion, and it's just not true. The receipts don't add up, and they've been busted time and time again, fudging the numbers. Oh, we saved the federal government in this. We cut this $8 billion contract, except it was actually 8 million, right? And I mean, we're going to fire these useless personnel. Oh, it turns out that they're essential personnel who tend to the nuclear weapon stockpile. Oh, please come back, please come back, please come back. One clown show movement after another, and all because of this man's extraordinary incompetence. Here's another clip.
Really, we're just implementing the will of the people. And we've got this window where we can finally take corrective action. We can fix the government, fix the country, and create a great future. And again, it's only possible because of President Trump. I can't say enough.
So again, desperate to try to give Trump the credit because he knows that Trump is also a thin-skinned, malignant narcissist. And if Trump continues to be perceived as Elon Musk's puppet, it's bad for both of their dynamic. But again, this idea that, we're just implementing the will of the people, bullshit. The polling is pretty clear on this. Elon Musk is unpopular. He's not liked. He is underwater. It's not that people are split on him. More people dislike Donald Trump, according to poll after poll after poll after poll, than like him. And more people dislike Doge in practice than like it, according to poll after poll after poll after poll. And even Fox News is reporting on this. So Fox tries to fluff it up. Well, listen, if you look at the polls, people love the idea of Doge. They love the idea of cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. And hey, who doesn't, right? Everybody wants the government to be more responsive and leaner, if at all possible. But you actually need to make that happen, and you should have a constitutional process which is accountable, surgical, and transparent, things that Elon Musk does not want Doge to be and has fought very hard to avoid making it. You also want it led by people who are accountable and doing this in a constitutional way, and that's not what's happening with Doge. So, however, when asked about their feelings towards Doge, 47% of respondents held negative views, with 41% saying they saw Doge in a positive light. It's a similar story in a Reuters Ipsos survey, and by a 59-33 margin, Americans questioned in the poll said they supported downsizing the federal government. Again, the theory of Doge, but not Doge in practice. However, 59% opposed the firing of tens and thousands of federal workers, and by a 50 to 38 margin, they said Trump and Musk had gone too far in cutting federal spending. I'm sorry. In practice, Doge is unpopular, not just controversial, unpopular objectively. And if you look at the polls surrounding Musk himself, It's disastrous. He's underwater even more than Trump in poll after poll after poll. Sorry, man. People dislike you because you're a loser and you choose to behave every day in a loser fashion. Maybe don't be so corrupt. Maybe don't engage in such conflicts of interest. Maybe submit yourself to accountability both for the American people and Congress. Testify under oath before Congress or back off. And maybe don't be so dishonest. Maybe that would help your polling. Here's another clip.
I'm only going to ask you one political question, just for clarification purposes only. I don't think this should really be a political night. I think this is,
Right.
a moment where the country should celebrate the fact that you were able to rescue them, that it happened successfully in spite of the difficulty, the challenges, and the danger. But I just want to clarify on the issue of whether or not you had offered to send this rocket to space to rescue these astronauts sooner to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I heard somebody earlier today say, in fact, that didn't happen when I believe it did.
No, we definitely offered to return the astronauts earlier. There's no question about that. The astronauts were only supposed to be there for 8 days, and they've been there for almost 10 months. So obviously that doesn't make any sense. SpaceX could have brought the astronauts back after a few months at most, and we made that offer to the Biden administration. It was rejected for political reasons, and that's just a fact.
Except it's not a fact. There again, Musk has been contradicted on this by the experts, by the overwhelming abundance of the information. The facts behind the delayed return of U.S. astronauts, according to fact checkers, again, lengthy article. Long and short of it is, White House advisor Elon Musk, whose SpaceX company aided the astronauts' return, said he'd offered last year to bring the 2 astronauts home much sooner, but the Biden administration declined for political reasons. NASA and space experts, including the 2 astronauts themselves, dispute that the decision was based on politics. In a press conference on March 4th, NASA officials said safety, budget concerns about a separate mission to retrieve the astronauts, and a desire to keep a crew on the space station were the reasons driving the decision to have Williams and Wilmore return with the SpaceX crew, which is expected to land on Earth today, and it did successfully. Trump, meanwhile, has repeatedly claimed that he expedited the return of the astronauts after making a personal appeal to Musk. The mission to return the 2 astronauts has been in the works since late last summer, and the timeline for their return is roughly in line with that plan. Okay? So, in August 2024, NASA announced that it would be using SpaceX's Dragon capsule to bring back the astronauts in February 2025. In September, the mission launched the Crew 9 with NASA's Nick Hague and a Russian cosmonaut who successfully reached the ISS on September 29th. The capsule was launched with 2 empty seats for the crew, including Williams and Wilmore, to return in February after being replaced on the space station by astronauts from the Crew 10. NASA officials said late February was the earliest the crew could return on SpaceX without interrupting other scheduled missions. In recent months, Musk and Trump have claimed the Biden administration decided to leave the astronauts on the space station until after the November election to avoid bad publicity. And again, it goes into the history of Musk claiming what he's claimed. But again, even the astronauts themselves weighed in and said that the politics played no role in the delay. It's also contradicted by other astronauts as well. So Elon Musk is just simply wrong about this. He's lying, per usual. Here's another clip, though, of the fluff piece between Sean Hannity and Elon Musk.
Really is just fascinates me. I'm interested in every aspect of it. I think, it was pretty public that I bought one of your Teslas. I don't like the way that people, and by the way, it's like the greatest car ever invented. It really is, and I'm not just saying that. It's self-driving. It's got 1,000 horsepower. It goes from 0 to 60 in 0.2 seconds. It's
2
the
seconds.
most American.
2 seconds.
Okay.
2 seconds.
Zero,
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry, not 0.
Yeah.
It goes in 0 to 60 in 2.0 seconds.
At that point, I think it would kill you basically if it went that fast.
It would kill. That's true.
But it's pretty fast. That's for sure. It's faster than any Ferrari, for example. Yeah.
No, I watched it beat my Z06. I'm like.
So again, it's an amazing car. Tesla's doing so great. Of course, Tesla is not doing well with respect to stocks. Again, as a consequence, if not in totality because of Tesla stocks, but primarily because of Tesla stocks plummeting, Elon Musk has effectively lost about $100 billion off his net worth. Now, he still has basically $200 billion left, a staggering sum. I'm pretty sure he's still the world's richest man, but he's not doing well with respect to Tesla's performance at the current moment, which is one of the reasons why I think he's making the rounds on Fox News, hoping that his stock can return to its previous heights. One last clip from Elon Musk in this disastrous interview.
Yeah, it turns out when you take away people's, what the money they're receiving fraudulently, they get very upset, and they basically want to kill me because I'm stopping their fraud, and they want to hurt Tesla because we're stopping this terrible waste and corruption in the government. And well, I guess they're bad people. Bad people will do bad things.
Bad people do bad things should be the title of your autobiography, Elon Musk. The reason that people are not happy with Tesla is in large part because of you, your personal decisions, your political decisions, which have long-term implications on the rest of the country. It's not that, you decided to do things that could only potentially harm yourself. You are having an outsized impact on not just national politics, but global politics that you quite frankly don't deserve. You're not an elected representative. You're not accountable to the people. You have bought your way into the presidency. And you are making disastrous decisions as a consequence of that extraordinary power and influence with your extraordinary incompetence. And people have every right to punish you in the market accordingly. Of course, Elon Musk, famously believes that it's illegal for advertisers not to, pay him money on X. I mean, this guy does not believe in free speech or the freedom of expression of the market. He thinks that you're obligated to subsidize and patronize his businesses. And he doesn't like the fact that his ruthlessly trolling decisions and his dishonesty, his own proclivities, he chose to do this. He's choosing to act in this way that it could have market implications for his businesses and his business interests. But yeah, that comes with it. And if the shoe were on the other foot, you would be delighting in this. If it were Sam Altman or one of your peers, you'd just say, oh, that's the free market at work. But in reality, you are choosing to risk the ire of the American people with the backlash that you're receiving. Now, as far as violence against Tesla, that shouldn't happen, or against Elon Musk. But protests and people selling off, their stock or selling off their Teslas or trying to organize boycotts against Teslas, that's the fair market at play. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.